It doesn't matter where or when I open my socials. I only see people claiming that Next.js is dead, or they want to tell me how they switched from Next.js to Tanstack Start. Costin Solutions did so, the React senior dev of YouTube, and many others are following. And now I got a bold statement here. The worst thing that you can do right now is to switch from Next.js to Tanstack Start, jumping on that hype train and just doing what Twitter tells you to. And here are all the reasons why. And first of all, I don't understand why everybody's saying that Next.js is dead. Because it's not. I don't get why people are saying that, because when is a technology considered dead? So one possible reason is it stops shipping features. Okay, fine. And the second one is users actually stop using it. Both are not the case. There is version 16.1, which just came out a week ago. And if we actually take a look at NPM trends, where we see how much a NPM package is being downloaded, I think on a weekly basis, and we look into the last 2 years, we see Next has never performed better than right now. So the only reason why people say that Next.js is dead, and this is also the big elephant here in the room, is Tanstack Start, a new web framework by Tanner Lindsley. So Tanstack is basically a collection of a lot of things. You might know Tanstack Router or Tanstack Query. So yeah, this new web framework is of course getting hype. So the thing with hype is we all love novelty. We all love testing out new things and playing around with them and screaming that out in the world. So saying, hey, Next.js is dead, use that instead. And this kind of makes sense because this creates FOMO, and FOMO gives attention, and attention is all you want if you post something on socials like X or YouTube. And also a thing why people don't like Next.js is because they don't stay up to date. But you need to stay up to date, especially with Next.js. And the way I do that is with Next.js Weekly, the sponsor of today's video and the best, no for real, the best Next.js newsletter out there. No spam, just a clean list of everything that happened right into your inbox. It is well structured, and with the new design, it looks better than ever. I would strongly encourage every Next.js developer to use Next.js Weekly and sign up for free with the link down in the description. Thanks to Next.js Weekly for sponsoring this video. So as we saw, of course, Next.js is not dead, but why would I argue that Next.js is the better framework, better than Tanstack Start? Let's start with a simple reason, the documentation. Let's be honest, Tanstack documentation never has been something pretty. It was always an ugly thing, and it still is. And for me, that's a reason why I don't like Tanstack Start, because I don't want to read through documentation that is way too long, overly complex. I mean, let's look at this. This just not looks pretty at all. I don't understand where I should start. I'm not guided through it. And with Next.js, it's really like they understand documentation. All information that is in here is straight to the point. I get exactly what I need. It's easier to search the documentation and navigate around it. And yeah, it's just a better feeling. But okay, you're right. Who is using docs anymore, right? Who's using documentation in the century of AI? Because let's be honest, if you have a framework question, you probably just type it into your AI of choice, right? But wait, isn't AI trained on data that lives in the past? And isn't AI the better, the more learning data it has? Yeah, you get what I want to say. AI and Tanstack Start is probably not a fit right now, because Tanstack Start is pretty new. There are not a lot of projects out there, so AI is not trained on it at all. So if you are a vibe coder or use AI frequently, you're gonna have a hard time with Tanstack Start. And yes, of course, you could use MCP servers, so like query the documentation and stuff like that, and that will work. But MCP just burns through your bank account and your bill gets very high. And the third thing why Next.js is so much better than Tanstack Start is the community. There are a lot of libraries out there, especially built around Next.js, like Next.intl, for example. And there are a lot of templates. There are a lot of guides. So if you want to set anything up, I don't know, any database or something like that, the chance that there is a guide for implementing that into Next.js is pretty high. But the biggest thing is that if you have a problem, chances are great that somebody else had this problem before. That's not the case for Tanstack Start. So it really is harder currently to work with Tanstack Start. Okay, but what about the framework itself? Just ignore the community and just ignore the fact that AI is better trained and that you have more guides out there, more templates. Just ignore that all and focus on the framework itself. Which one is better? It's hard to say that because both are completely different, and that's what you need to understand. So for Next.js, we are on the server first side. We have RSC, so React Server Components, and we have more rendering strategies like ISR for incremental static regeneration and PPR now built into cache components. So it's all around the server. On the other hand, Start or Tanstack Start, I don't know if you can say Start, it's client first. it's the default or the old React type of way. So single page applications, traditional approach. And that's why a lot of people, especially senior devs like Custom Solutions, for example, really likes that one, because it's the old way, the way that most senior React devs have learned. And then there are of course more differences. So like in Next.js, there's this directives approach, and there was this funny directives hell where you write use everywhere, like use cache, use server, use client, use workflow. So there are a lot of use here. So the directives specify where code runs, and in Tanstack everything is like a function-based approach. So you have to call create server function, for example, to specify that something should work on the server. But that can also end up in a nested function hell, and in a function hell generally that you have a lot of functions and the code is not that much readable anymore. So it really comes down to what you prefer. It's hard to say that one is better than the other. You can argue that Next.js has advanced server patterns, and on the other hand, Tanstack Start is TypeScript by default, so everything is type safe. With Next.js, as you hear by the name, Next.js, not Next.js, it is a JS framework with the capabilities of TypeScript, but not everything is type safe. On the other hand, with Next.js, you get search engine optimization out of the box, and in Tanstack Start, it's probably easier to get, these client-side concepts like optimistic updates working. But yeah, as I noted down here, there are many more differences, and you really have to watch an in-depth guide or in-depth comparison to compare them. But what I just want to tell you is that both frameworks are fast, because I see people claiming that Next.js is slow AF and that Tanstack Start feels so fast. The reason for that is that you probably did some mistakes in Next.js, and that's the case for all frameworks. If you don't know the framework good enough, you probably end up with problems. So that all said, I come to the conclusion that developing with Next.js is currently easier, and you should probably opt into Next.js because it is just the safer bet. Safer for development because it's easier to find bugs and solve things and work with AI, and the better solution for production because it's just the safer bet currently. Tanstack Start is indeed a great framework, but let's give it some time to really emerge.